A friend of mine named Doug Knox used to always stop by the house and bring along any new music that he found that he thought I'd like. And I remember he put the album on, and the first track came on, and I was just blown away. And then when I looked at the album cover and saw what the band looked like, I just knew this was a band I had to check out. And I just thought that Human Fly was one of the greatest songs ever written. The very first time I saw the Cramps live was in the early 80s in Washington, D.C. It was a club called the Ontario Theater. And I remember when the band came out, they looked even more incredible than they did on their album cover. Just remember Lux's hair was like stacked up really high, and his pants were like worn really low. And he came out with a giant rubber snake, and he bit it in half and threw both halves into the audience. And I think one of my friends caught half of the snake. But I just remember it was like one of the most chaotic, crazy events I'd ever seen. And I knew I was going to be a fan forever. The artwork that was used for the Bad Music for Bad People album cover, front and back, were two pieces of artwork that I had done and taken to a show in Washington, D.C., the old 930 Club, and I gave it to them after the show. And I just remember they really seemed to like it a lot. I remember Ivy pointing to the wrinkles in the forehead and commenting on different details, and Lux commented that it looked like the artist Basil Wolverton, who I was always a really, really big fan of Basil Wolverton, so I thought it was great that Lux was familiar with him too. After talking for a while, we realized we had a lot in common with the old EC comics, the old horror comics. We were both really big fans. Later on, I got a call from IRS Records, and they had just gotten out of a production meeting with Lux and Ivy, and they said that Lux and Ivy wanted to use the artwork that I'd given them for the front and back of the album cover. I wanted to draw something that I thought Lux would appreciate, kind of comic horror related, like a horror host, sort of like the old EC horror comics, the Crypt Keeper. And I wanted to give him features that Lux had the very first time I saw him on stage, like the impression I got from him with the hair and the grin and the eyes. And so I wanted to capture the essence of Lux. I had met the band several times before I gave them the artwork that was used for the Bad Music cover. Each time I would give them a drawing or a painting, and they were always very friendly and always seemed to really enjoy the stuff I was bringing them. I think just because they had a similar background in the things that they liked, and I grew up liking 50s and 60s culture stuff like the Rat Fink and Ed Big Daddy Roth and horror movies, B-horror movies. It was always really, really fun meeting them because it was such a contrast too. Because like you'd see them on stage and they just seemed like this dangerous collection of monster type people that just were like bigger than life. And then you'd meet them backstage and they were just so friendly and welcoming that I just could never get over how great they were. After the album came out, the very next time I saw them, I just remember I was really excited to talk to them about it. I remember thanking them for deciding to use my artwork on the cover, and I remember Lux saying, well, thanks for letting us use this wonderful piece of artwork, which just really blew me away. The music and style of the Cramps will influence me for the rest of my life. Really, if I get stuck. And I am completely honored that they would use my artwork for one of their album covers.